Gavin 17, should eighth graders be doing anything in the recruiting process, or is it early? It's early. Like we do work with guys who are like freshmen in eighth grade, really, because we help a lot on the development side too. So we don't just like do solely recruiting. Like we help you understand based on our evaluation of you, okay, this is what you need to start doing to really get yourself in the proper, get yourself moving towards the type of player that these schools will be recruiting, right? But like just for purely recruiting, yeah, in eighth grade, it's for sure, it's definitely early. Kyle, thanks for the social media video and all the topic videos. Great service you're providing. For anyone watching that hasn't signed up with ESA, don't wait. They do exactly what they promise. Thanks, Dan. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate the plug, Dan. You the man. You the man. Yeah, I mean, guys, just like to say, well, just a little bit on what Dan's saying. Like our number one goal is just to be like dead honest with our clients. So much again, I'm not trying to disparage or generalize like travel ball or anything like that, but a lot of these coaches in travel ball, like I've heard, I deal with it all the time, like with clients, like, well, my travel ball coach told me like, I should be reaching out to like Tennessee and Auburn. And it's like, man, you got to be a dude, like a dude of dudes of dudes to play at schools like that. And that doesn't mean that we do work with guys that get to like top 25 schools. But again, like we're gonna err on the side of like being too critical of you in our evaluation, then kind of boost you up and let you like tell you exactly what you want to hear. We'd rather you be just dead honest with you and be like where you're looking good, where you need to improve. That way you know what you have to do. Like so much of the problems in like recruiting and travel ball and just baseball development at the amateur level is people not willing to tell players the truth. And that is like our mission statement is we're going to be dead honest with you. We want to advise you on where the best possible place to go is for you to get on the field, not the place that's going to make us look great by posting out, hey, this kid committed to Vandy or Tennessee. We do have guys that commit there. Like Drew Gilbert, star at Tennessee, was one of our clients. But like, the vast majority of guys aren't at that level, which is fine, right? It's fine in the recruiting process now to start somewhere low because you have options now to transfer if that's what you want. I'm not ever going to recommend like, hey, you definitely want to transfer, but you have that option available, right? So you don't have to start out at a major D1 school, especially if you're not going to get to play, because then you're going to be in the portal and you're going to be downgrading. Right, you're going to be going down to a lower level school. What do you recommend eighth graders do just in general with development? Gavin, I'll tell you this, like the number one thing that will improve you as a baseball player more than anything else is the weight room. And that means you're pushing yourself in the weight room. You're in eighth grade. You're plenty old enough to work out now. Don't listen to anyone who's like, you're going to start your growth if you work out. That's BS. Like that's been disproven. That's that's kind of an old mantra that was like, but people believed when I was coming up. But the second part of the weight room is your diet. Because and I did this wrong in high school, right? I played football. I was in summer workouts. I was in the weight room like 3 or 4 times a week, working out hard, pushing myself. I did not eat enough calories and protein. So all my buddies are like getting bigger and jacked. And I'm kind of like, I'm definitely getting stronger. But just a pure physicality standpoint, I did not look like a dude that was going to be starting as a freshman at Georgia Tech. I looked like, you guys have heard me tell the story, but in my freshman year at Georgia Tech, I'm starting against UGA. And in my first at bat, we're in Athens. And a guy in the stands, I started laughing when he said it. He's like, I didn't know they recruited eighth graders at Georgia Tech. I mean, that's kind of, eighth grade's a little harsh, but I definitely looked like a high school player. Like I looked like a high schooler, right? And so the one thing I would say, Gavin, is get very serious about it getting in the weight room, pushing yourself hard. Like if you're repping out weight and you're not struggling, like you're not doing heavy enough weight. By that third or fourth set, you want this to be difficult. You want to be having to really push. You're going to create just a lot more hypertrophy that way with muscle growth. And then the diet, right? Like if you're in eighth grade, if you're eating like 4,500 calories a day, 150 grams of protein, dude, in a month, you're going to look at yourself and be like, holy cow. That's the key. Is working out is you have to work out and push yourself, but if you're eating enough calories and eating enough protein, I mean, there's studies out now that show like if you can eat, you will see benefit up to 2.3 grams of protein per pound of body weight. That's your goal. So if your goal is to be like 180 pounds, times 180 by 2.3, and or sorry, 1.3, I think. So like you'd be over 200 grams of protein. That's what I would recommend, man. That's what you should focus on, is just getting super serious in the weight room in your diet. And then also like skill development, right? When you're taking ground balls, challenge yourself. Like I see like the high school kids I work with, like you watch them take ground balls and I just get on them because I'm like, you guys are just like going through the motions. You're not challenging yourself. Like push yourself, get ground balls in the hole, try to get rid of it as fast as you can, put as much arm strength on it as you possibly can. You know, when guys play catch, they just lob it to each other and then they wonder why they're not getting, their arm's not getting stronger, because you're throwing it at 70% the whole time. You're not even pushing your arm. My number one mistake was not taking working out and diet seriously. Yeah, and that was that was my mistake, Zach. Like I worked out hard, but to give myself an excuse, there was not a whole lot of dietary studies done on protein at the time. So they're like, the rule of thumb when I was in high school was like, you get 40 grams of protein, your body can't use anymore after that. That's totally wrong, right? So like when I was in college and I didn't go play in the Cape after my sophomore year, I put on 20 pounds in 3 months. I ate 6,000 calories a day and about 150 grams of protein, and I put on muscle like you couldn't believe in 3 months. I looked like a totally different player. So you can make big physiological changes fast if you're dedicated.